Beep. Okay. I think it's going to work this time.
Okay, let's see if it works.
What's going on, everybody? This is Paul Newell. Actually, you're on the page, so you know already. And I got this guy, this handsome guy right here is Michael Schmidt. So just to give a little context, and actually, Mike, can you just introduce yourself?
As far as what? How I know you? Or how we know each other?
Yeah, good
question. We met how many years ago? 10, 15?
Yeah. We met through like the Bob and Mandy connection.
Definitely mutual interest too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yoga.
Yes.
You do yoga. I do Qi Gong.
Yes.
Yeah.
So first time I met this guy, I was like, oh, this guy's the truth. What's up, man? And the reason why I wanted him on this video is like over the years, Mike and I have really developed a relationship around just like the healing arts. And what's up, D-Nice? The healing arts and how to help people and just what we've done in our studies. As Mike mentioned, me through yoga and him through Qigong. And it's been amazing just to see the growth. And Mike's birthday is in August 22nd.
Yep. Yours is 25th.
Yep. So we always have a cool conversation around the year and throughout the year. Not as much as I would like, but or we both would like. But it's good.
That's right.
Yeah. Exactly. So listen. So
where do you go?
I don't know. I go in a cave, man. Cats that follow me on here, they see the videos. I'm off somewhere. Why we're doing this here is I felt fascinated. I really wanted to continue on this conversation in a live that Mike and I had about seasons of life. And Mike was talking about the season that he's in, and then I was talking about the season that I am, that he was explaining the seasons that I'm in. And I wanted to dive into this a little bit because I felt that it would be helpful. So Mike, can you just give a little context on what the seasons of life mean and represent?
This is based upon traditional Chinese medicine, Qi Gong.
Yes.
So the theory is that we go through seasons at different ages, and the seasons have elements, the seasons have an organ that's linked to them, and the seasons have an emotion. And basically we run on 3 gears. And the gears are how old we are, what the time of the year actually is. Like right now we're in late summer, which is Earth.
Right.
And that's the organ is stomach, the emotion is worry. But we also run on what's called the Hore clock, which is a daily, every couple hours, an organ and emotion, things change. So we have these 3 gears that we run on. And they sometimes line up pretty interestingly.
Right.
So what we were talking about on my birthday when he called was that I'm going into what's called the metal phase, which is 58 to 83. Okay. So I'm 57, but generally speaking, somebody around 57, 58, 59 goes through this elemental change, this seasonal change in their life, and actually the emotion actually changes too. So the energy, when you're born, at age 0 to 8, you're in wood. And when you're in that element, I'm trying to think, the energy is up. And it seems to me like when you're born from 0 to 8, energy is just pushed into you, right? So you're just filling up. If you're a vessel, you're filling up. You're filling up, you're filling up, you're filling up until you're 8 years old. You're also open. It's a strange time because you're open and filling up at the same time, but you're filling up with energy, but you're also filling up with the belief systems, right?
Okay.
So then from 8 to 33, you're in the element fire. And then the energy kind of goes down and out. So you have a ton of energy. The universe is giving you energy. You're acquiring. You care about your looks. You care about what you have. You're acquiring. That's 8 to 33.
That's a huge gap.
That's a huge gap.
Shoot,
Yeah, but 33 to 58 is, and I have the chart in the back. 33 to 58
right.
is a huge gap too, really.
Right.
There are some huge gaps. So, but the acquiring phase is different kinds of acquiring. I mean, a 9-year-old and a 33-year-old are not trying to acquire the same thing.
Right. But it's just like the overall.
But it's the overall energy.
Gotcha.
So the energy of 0 to 8 is just coming in and just coming in, and the energy of fire is coming in, going out, and the energy of earth, which is what you're in, is more of it's kind of a level energy. Earth is very level. Earth is kind of more like from 33 to 58 is more of a kind of, okay, this is what I've acquired. This is what it's kind of calming down a little bit. But again, it calms down in a grade. It doesn't just all of a sudden, I'm 33. But what's funny, what I think is really interesting, and I've never talked to anybody about this is a definite Mikeism.
Exclusive.
Is that I think that's why people died at 33 to 35 a long time ago. Because the universe was like giving you free energy, unplugs at 33 to 35 years old, and says, listen, you get to cultivate your own energy. The universe is not giving it to you for free, right? Yep. And if you can't produce, you can't hunt, you can't fight, you can't do anything, you're out of here.
Right. So
now, because we're more evolved, we don't have to hunt and fight, but we have to do something else. We get to keep going on. And when you get to 58 to 83, which is the metal element, which is what I'm in or going towards, it's a very reflective period. And it's also the period where you get to see what you did in wood, what you did in fire, and what you did in earth, and what that all looks like laid out in front of you now.
Damn. Okay. So I just got the chills again because let me just pause for a second. Because I think this is where because
you're not really reflective at all, so you don't know what that. I think you're.
I'm like, oh, why?
No, it's not that bad. You're pretty reflective.
Sometimes it is, but what
I said, I think you're pretty reflective.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's the Virgo trait in me, the analytical, but analytics. But I just want to highlight one thing. What's that? Yeah. Wow. Yes. This is serious. And what got me when you explained that. When we were talking at that birthday conversation, I thought it was really interesting. And even hearing you say this, it's like in the beginning, we're like growing this, we're like rooting, right? And this is how I hear it perceived. Like we're rooting in this wood phase. And then it's like there's energy that's coming down into us, whether that's belief systems, stories about like who we are supposed to be and what we look like.
But it's just vital life force. It's just life force for a child. If you have kids and you have kids,
right?
The life force energy is not. I mean, they have it in spades. They have it. They have all they need, all they want, and all you can almost tolerate.
Right. Yes. So it's like that's the thing. So it's like that's rising. Like they're vibrant. How vibrant they are.
That's sprouting.
Yes.
Sprouting and growing.
Then my thing is like in that wood. Next phase. Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
Mikeism. So that next phase, the 8 to 33. Like when you told me that, what I was hearing was like, wow, this is interesting because in that season, it's like we're acquiring, like things are being put into us, like whether that's a school system, a college, work, what we're supposed to be like, for lack of better terms, like a box.
Yeah.
And then when you say like when we were talking about my phase, I was like, oh shit, like damn, that's what I feel like right now. I feel like right now I've acquired all these things, and there's a space in my life where I don't know how the hell this all even works together. Like it's like I'm figuring out like, okay, I've amassed this, I've done this, but this isn't what I thought it would be. So let me reconfigure this. In this space. Then what I hear when you say in this phase, in the metal phase, it's almost like going to the top of the mountain and then seeing the work that's just happening.
It's harvest.
Okay.
It's harvest time.
Okay.
So you're still in the cultivation of things, you're still in the acquiring of things, you're at the end of that. You still need to take care of yourself, you need to take care of others, you need to do some things where metal is more like, okay, so you're backing off, you're a little bit more reflective, and Earth is actually the energy of Earth, or the emotion of Earth is also worry. So it's kind of interesting where when you're in Earth, you're kind of worried about keeping your stuff, and you're kind of worried about your family, and you worry. And then metal is more reflective and more sad, like you're in sadness. And I think a lot of, and I know the Mankind Project is a big piece for you.
Mm-hmm.
That when men go from 50 into the 57, 58 phase, they call it something else, but it's really the metal phase. It's really reflective, and you're pulling back and you're going, okay, so my kids are gone. I'm done. I'm winding down my business,
Mm-hmm.
and where's my passion? Where's my inspiration? So now you got to stalk inspiration again, and it's very interesting to try to stalk inspiration from 57 to 58, or you can do what my parents or my father said was kind of like, okay, so you work and you put money away, and then you get to coast. And he didn't coast when he was 50, when he got into metal.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're coasting, you're just waiting to die.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know, am I going to spend the next 20 years waiting to die?
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah, that would suck.
What's up, everybody? Yeah.
So I have a lot of inspiration myself,
mm-hmm.
but I would love to help other people that are in that find theirs, because generally speaking, it's funny, people don't look at the things that they do that people come to them for and their really strong interests and their passions as things that they could do for a living or for to share. You know, I just launched an online course, mm-hmm. and you know, anyway.
So well, this is the thing, because in my judgment, right, and I think this is I want to bring why this is important. This conversation is important, is that I feel that in this culture and civilization, we get caught in like, okay, this is supposed to be this young phase, like. Okay, we're supposed to, like, we get sold this bill of goods, like, hey, stay young forever. Like, I see Frank Thomas talking about eugenics and, like, your wife will like it too. And, like, all these things, like, we get sold, like, this young image or this phase of the fire, right? When in actuality, I feel like when we keep...
Wisdom's starting to get sexy.
Wisdom is. Well, that's good then. Because
I think so.
Because I feel like if wisdom's getting sexy, then that means people are going to put in the grind to acquire the wisdom.
Yep.
Which is that knowledge in that fire phase, and then in the earth phase, it's like, okay, now this is, in my opinion, this is what I'm gaining.
But you should rock every phase. It's okay, really just basically saying, you know, if you were thinking about winter, spring, summer, and fall, mm-hmm. you're like, you know, if you have your favorite season, you have your favorite season, but you can't get mad when it's wintertime and you're a farmer and you can't plant, right. And you can't get mad when fall comes around and, you know, now it's time to harvest and you're not into it just quite yet.
Right.
You have to do things in a natural progression or you're fighting nature. And there really is a nature behind all of this that we really haven't lost. We just, when we ignore it, it really kicks us in the ass. So we should really not ignore it. We should embrace it. I love that word, embrace.
I love it. Embrace. I'm a hugger. So now this is the thing here, because I want to kind of wrap this up and expand in some way if we have to, if we, you know, whatever. But I feel like when we fight the nature,
yep,
that's when there's the dis-ease.
Right.
So
it's absolutely the dis-ease. Shock causes dis-ease, but so does fighting nature.
Right. So yep. I'm gonna make an applicable application here in regards to health and well-being. So I've been a trainer. Most of you guys know I was a trainer for a long time. Now I've been doing yoga, really focused more on the yoga. So what I found is that, like, especially when I train older men or older women, they would say, well, I want to be like how I was when I was 20. Okay? How you were when you were 20. And when I heard when we were talking, I was like, well, shoot. Like 20, you're a different person cellularly, energetically than you are right now. And you may have had benefits at the 20s, but now when you're in your 50s, you got benefits too. It's treating the body. And now it's like working with clients that are older. I can still get them strong, but it's going to be in a different type of strength. It's a different kind of strength. Exactly. Yeah. And it's more in line with their season.
Well, season 2, men get less and less flexible, and you have to pull that flexibility out. And strength like in the earth phase is mm-hmm. when you can, like, even this time of the year, when you work out this time of the year.
Yeah.
There's different times of the year when different physical, different things like weightlifting and running and things like that are more applicable and better for your body and better for that element. So you're actually fighting nature when you're not doing some meditation and some things like that in the wintertime. You need to kind of draw in, and what we do is we apologize for that. We go, I just don't feel like doing anything. I feel like kind of just going into the cave like we used to,
right,
and doing some meditation. Well, there's a reason for that. And then in the summertime, you're ready to do things, and in the springtime you're supposed to be stalking your inspiration for summertime. So you're supposed to be getting ready. So it's a cycle.
Right.
And if you try to do something off the cycle, it's a gear grind.
Right.
It's grinding your gears.
Yep. See, this is why this is important, because we're not in tune with nature like how we can.
And
right?
that sounds like really woo. Like we should be doing this outside in our bare feet.
Yeah, and
but
you
it's
know
kind
what?
of cold.
It is cold as hell. I did it this morning. It's not fun, and it's a little damp.
Yeah.
But like this is the thing. Like everybody talks woo woo, and I feel like that shit's the shit that we get sold. That this is woo woo. This is nature, man.
Well,
this is thousands and thousands and thousands.
If we can do anything, and we can continue doing this, and if you guys want more of this, just let us know. Yeah. Is that we can break this down so it's not woo-woo. I have a big, what I would like to do is try to take some of this woo-woo stuff and show the science behind it, and show just the practicality of it. There's just the practicality of some of this stuff that we just don't get. And it's why people don't understand some of it. You get into this language that's really complicated. It's not that complicated.
It's not. It's not complicated at all. Well, I don't want to say it's not at all, because then I'm looking at it from my lenses.
Right. And we're not really judging, but we're kind of just saying that there is another way if you're not comfortable with the way things have been presented for you in this arena.
Right. So when you just say that, what comes to me now when you mention that is mindfulness. Is being aware of the body. It's
simple mindfulness.
Simple mindfulness.
Like not rabbit hole down the rabbit hole mindfulness.
Right.
Like,
it's like mindful. Yeah, like, because, I can go in a rabbit hole quick, boy. What?
Well, it's the same conversation we had the other day, which I had to sew into this, was the how and the why thing. Like the Googling the universe.
Right.
If we ask too many why questions, like why does this happen to me, and why do I go down the rabbit hole, and why, instead of how do I learn, how do I get to the next step, and how do I get to the next phase gracefully? Like, how do I go into metal gracefully? That's what I have to ask. If I sat here and said to you or anyone else or all of you, why do I have to go through metal? It's so hard,
Right.
It's okay, so I'm going into metal. What do I need to do? What do I have? What am I letting go? What do I have to let go? What do I acquire? Where's my inspiration?
Right.
All of that stuff. It's how. It's not why.
So that in itself is the reframe. Like
that's a reframe.
There's a reframe in the questioning instead of why.
Well, it's also the difference between anticipation and intention, because I can anticipate what's coming up here, or I can intend it.
This guy, you going in, Mike. You going in, man.
So if I anticipate this and I go, oh God, I wonder what this is going to be like, this is the next phase of my life. Or I go, you know what? I intend to do this with grace and honor and whatever other word I can figure out.
Oh, wow. So let's sum this up, because I feel like we could be on this for like an hour and a half, and probably even more. But I like the idea what Mike was saying. If you guys are, when you see this afterwards, if you add in the comments, if you want to know more insight, more information, we might have to do this series on stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's just important for us to get this information out, because as Mike talks about seasons, and why I call this the seasons of life, I think it's important for everybody to understand that when we go through transitions, it's like seasons. Okay, and as we go through the transition, I'm going to speak for myself, especially having these conversations and learning more. Like, when things are chaotic, right? It's like there's like, whether it's like a storm, this transition. It's good to understand that it's like the storm of the season change. Like when we go from right now, we're going from summer into fall.
Right.
There's adjustments.
It's a total
that
energetic
happen.
shift in that.
Right. It's like, even for example, I got to wake up a little earlier and stretch my body out a little bit more because cellularly my body needs to warm up. My muscles need to warm up. I need to do a little bit more to get my body ready for the change in the conditions. Same thing when we go through the change in life.
And what are you going to do? Fight that?
That's disease and resistance.
Yep.
Disease and
It's resistance.
Yes.
Yeah. It's what you resist persists. Is that what it is?
That's what it is. Thanks for reminding me. Thanks. Damn you.
And what you put your attention on expands?
That's correct.
Uh-huh.
That's correct. So listen, just want to put that out there. Listen, Mike, how do people get in contact with you? Because you got a wealth of services. So just explain what you do.
The Center of Integrative Healing is in Chatham, and we're at 248 Main Street in Chatham.
Mm-hmm.
You can email me. I have, because I'm in metal, I still have AOL. So mschmidt22 at AOL.com. My kids
I like how you
bust
do that
my
in there.
chops. Yeah, AOL, and I pay for it. Can you believe it?
You've got me.
That's how I wake up. That's my alarm clock.
That is so freaking classic.
Yeah.
All right,
That's a metal thing.
Yeah. Look, while we're doing this live, well, Mike's also recording this, so we'll edit this. This will go out on video if you want to share this with somebody who wants to know more about the seasons. And as for me, you guys can reach me on thewellnessguide.com. I'm teaching yoga private sessions, mindfulness, and movement sessions because for me, I really like working with people that are going through that transition because I'm learning for myself in transition that affects the body, that affects the mind, that affects the soul. So I'm a guide to helping that transition, and I love it. I'm loving it. Not always easy, but definitely well worth it. So from these two handsome men, we are going to sign off. Mike, thanks, man. Thank you. This is helpful. And guys, if you have questions, Mike is copied on this. If you have questions as you watch this about the seasons, type them in. I'm not always the quickest to get back in replies, as you guys will probably recognize, but I'll do my best, and Mike will see it too. All right, everybody, be well, and thanks for tuning in. And
Hi, Liz.
Liz,
yeah. Sister Liz.
That's right, baby. And everybody that logged in, thank you for coming in. Thanks, Liz. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, D Nice. Thanks, everyone. And don't fight the season change. Embrace it. Be well.